Welcome back to the channel, everybody. I am Mick Alphaneme. So let's begin right here with this article on newsbtc.com. I hope everybody out there is doing well and having a good day, or had a good day and having a good evening. All right. So it begins here. It says, market analysts are watching Ripple's XRP for a potential price surge against the world's leading digital currency, Bitcoin. XRP, known for its lightning fast transaction speed and secure blockchain technology, has recently experienced a roller coaster ride due to its lawsuit with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. Now, while they mean that in a very general way, I think that that's more relevant just because since the price has been suppressed heavily, by the way, you've had, as of like the last few months, you saw that group of investors come out of South Korea and they came in like they were a company and pumped that price up. And it stayed up for a while, didn't it? It stayed up. So I think that's one thing. So that's a mechanism that people need to pay attention to when it comes to the price surging before the end of the case, right? Is that there's going to be groups, I think, that are going to try to take advantage of the price being down and everyone's excitement and support of XRP. And although we've only seen this once so far that we could verify, I think you're going to see it again. I think that they'll wait a little while, let the people starve, let them, suffer a little bit, so for lack of a better word. And I think they will try to pump XRP again. I do. I believe that. They got a taste for it once, and typically these things happen multiples of times. So that's what I'm watching out for, false pumps. And they could use good news as well. There could be some good news that comes out and everyone gets excited and you'll start to see that price go up. But not tick me off, like what would tip me off would be that it just goes up a little bit too much for the news that may come out. That's when I know someone's trying to pump it. Like like I said, you have all of these hundreds upon hundreds of individuals coming together. They're working together like they're a small company. So that, yeah, they can definitely, and they have capital to play with. They can definitely move that price. And so it's the same thing that people were doing in the stock markets. They would all get together on social media and they will pump things up. So that's something that I would expect to happen. It's not a guarantee, but let's continue on with this article. It says, because they're not saying that, that's just my idea. It says XRP, known for, let's skip that part. It says, however, in XRP and Bitcoin chartist, Cryptos predicts a trend reversal for XRP based on current indicators on the chart. The performance of XRP since the beginning of April has been very low compared to that of Bitcoin. This led to a notable decline in the XRP Bitcoin pair over the last 5 weeks. Its poor performance does not affect how certain analysts picture the token. Well, yes, because they're not looking short term. Anything that we talk about when it comes to bank coins, if you're talking about XRP, XLM, Algorand, Quant, these are long-term investments, long holds. This is not quick money. And you're going to need those this large group of companies and banks that are willing to jump in, waiting to jump in and use them before that price can really skyrocket the way that people believe that it can. So that's why, and that hasn't happened yet. They haven't had that chance yet. We've had big CEO after powerful CEOs after powerful CEO tell us everyone's waiting for a positive outcome to the SEC case. We even had one of those bank CEOs from South Korea say the same thing that SBI, the head of SBI said, hey, we're all eyes are on this SEC case. So the bank coins haven't gotten to play the way that they could just yet. Although, don't forget, in that last bull run, everything went up. Everything went up. So people did play a little bit. They went up a little bit. They went up pretty good, actually, for the people that were sitting on a ton of coins. However, yeah, until that happens, they haven't gotten to play yet. And people are going to wait on that, understanding that there is huge capital opportunities there, right? And then they have a lot of other things that they can play with to make quick money, right? So there's quick money plays. Then you have long-term investments like this. And then you have wealth preserving situations like gold and silver and platinum, right? Okay. So let's move on here. So it says, however, the support level could prevent further decline of XRP tokens as it might be the bottom. Listen, I'll stop right there. Like I said, if you want to read the rest of this, they go into another analyst's thoughts also on here. So newsbtc.com if you want to read the rest of that. So a lot of commenters and subscribers have been telling me about The automated market makers coming to the XRPL, they have been keeping me up to date. You know, they're making sure that this made an impact on me. So I saw this article. I figured I would bring this forward here. It's from zcrypto.com and it's titled Automated Market Makers Finally Coming to XRPL. Why this feature could be super bullish for $1 XRP. I would love to see that. Let's scroll down here. It says users oh, well, they're going to go into a brief explanation in case people don't know what AMMs are. So there's a brief explanation of AMM, their strength and limitations, how users could benefit from this, and what it may mean for XRP price long term. It says users can trade cryptocurrencies and other assets using automated market makers, a decentralized exchange mechanism, without using conventional order books or a centralized entity to arrange trades. Instead, automated market makers create a pool of tokens with varying levels of liquidity to establish asset prices and facilitate trades. The liquidity pool calculates the asset price based on the ratio of tokens in the pool, receives tokens from users who want to trade, and uses those tokens to fund the trade, to maintain a stable price for the asset being traded, and to encourage the addition of more liquidity to the pool. The automated market maker then assesses a fee for the transaction, which is added to the liquidity pool. Why AMM is a significant development for XRP and XRP Ledger. I'll just read this a little bit here. It says, first, AMMs will give XRP holders a more decentralized means to trade their tokens because XRP is a well-known cryptocurrency. AMMs make trading easier and may provide more XRP liquidity, which is advantageous for traders and investors. Second, including AMMs in XRP will facilitate developers' creation of decentralized apps on the XRP Ledger. Developers can use the liquidity pools offered by the AMM to construct new dApps that are more effective and economical with the addition of AMMs. Listen, I'm going to stop there. This is on zcrypto.com. Once again, they have a lot more here. They have like three more sections here. This is going to be very, very powerful. It's very exciting. And now I understand why people are bringing this to me here and, you know, continuously telling me about AMMs. I appreciate it. I do. And yeah, things are looking good. Simple as that. Things are looking really, really good. Exciting times. And I think the future remains extremely, extremely bright for XRP and XRPL. Now let's move on here to another article. Yeah, another one. This one is also from zcrypto.com. And it's titled, XRP Holders Attorney Supports Chamber's Allegations of SEC Overreach in Digital Asset Industry. Let's read this little tidbit here. It says, on May the 11th, John Deaton, the attorney and legal representative of XRP holders in the collective lawsuit against the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, supported the report presented by the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, a major business interest group opposing the country's current regulatory environment driven by the SEC. According to the Chamber of Commerce, the SEC is misusing its powers, destabilizing the regulatory environment of cryptocurrencies and causing significant economic harm, that's true, to Coinbase and the broader business community. They're causing a lot of harm. Can you imagine with all of these companies leaving the United States, and not even just the ones that are leaving, but the ones that were going to be built, but now are being built elsewhere? You know how many jobs they're losing? They're losing jobs, they're losing competitive edge, right? Not only that, then throw in there all the people that would have made money from just holding the tokens. With regulatory clarity or just the regulators getting out of the way, a lot of people will be sitting pretty right now. They'd be sitting on a whole lot of capital right now, right? So, I mean, they cause a great deal of harm, in my humble opinion. Let's continue on here. It says, XRP holders attorney endorses Chamber's report. XRP holders attorney Deaton stated that the Chamber of Commerce was not the first to denounce the SEC's overreach in the uncertain regulatory environment. For over 2 years, XRP holders have pointed out that the SEC won't stop after its attack on Ripple. No, that 100%. We've seen them. They're going after others already. And see, here's the thing. They're trying to set a precedent by going after the big companies first. Ripple, Algorand, Coinbase. Just imagine how insane they're going to go when the big companies are out of the way and they're going to try to feast. The SEC will try to feast on all the smaller companies. This is why it's important for the big companies to win now and set a precedent if the bulk of crypto wants to continue to thrive, right? Let's continue on here. It says, quote, XRP holders were the first to call out the SEC's gross overreach. I like that they're giving XRP community credit as well. That's very honorable, noble. It says, but clearly we aren't the last. Over 2 years, we warned that this wouldn't end with XRP. Even when the government's overreach targets a project you dislike, you must stand against it. Stuart Alderati, Ripple's chief legal officer with over 35 years of legal experience in regulatory affairs and complex litigation, noted that the current uncertain regulatory environment is not just a crypto problem, but a, quote, we the people problem. Yeah, I will say that 100%. If anyone knows of the other cases that the SEC has going on and other companies that they're going after, certain things that they're doing, complaints that they've had from, quote unquote, legitimate industries, you'll understand that their overreach is not just with crypto, but we're feeling it the worst right now because we're a nascent industry. We're still at the beginning trying to, get up and running. And so they thought that they could take advantage of that. Thank goodness we have such a strong backing, companies like Ripple and Stellar and, Algorand, these ones who have been up against the regulators for quite some time. A lot of people weren't around when we had that first bout where it was really Ripple. It was Ripple and Stellar mostly, Algorand a little bit. But holy smokes, there was a heck of a lot of back and forth, a lot of shots fired back and forth between the SEC and these companies, FAFTA and these companies, FinCEN and these companies. And what's that other regulator? There's another one. There's a bunch of them. Did I say FAFTA already? All of them. Yeah, they thought that they could go after crypto because we are a nascent industry. Without that, the strong backing from the banks and all, governments that actually want to use us around the world and us being global, I think that the fight might have been much different. So it says the regulations affect not only the crypto ecosystem, but all individuals and businesses involved. Okay, we're going to stop right there. Once again, that's from zcrypto.com. Hope everybody out there is doing well. All right. Hope you're having a good evening. All right. So now, here's a little bit of Stellar news. Now, if you remember, Stellar has been working with a company. This is from June 22nd, 2022. The company is called Neum. Right now, this is very important to keep up with them because they're going to enable payouts to 190 countries. And not only that, but it says here, there's a little tidbit. It says, instead, they can simply build their brand on top of an existing platform. So what they're doing is Neum allows Stellar to hand infrastructure to all these companies that may want to build on Stellar, but because of the Neum integration, all of these different companies that Neum may be working with, that's key here because Neum is becoming rapidly very powerful. But all these companies that work with Neum or may work with Neum can also access Stellar and use Stellar, XLM, or anything on Stellar. It doesn't make a difference. XLM is going to get a piece, right? We know how that works. But okay, so let's get an update on Neum here. I like to stay up to date with these. And so this article here is from worldbizmagazine.net. And it's titled Neum Payment Predictions 2023. And this is actually from a lot of the key members in Neum. So let's scroll down here to number 3. It's from Christina Hutchinson. This is the VP of Business Development in Latin America. I told everybody, keep your eyes on Latin America. The future is very, very bright in Latin America, at least for moving capital, blockchain, anybody who knows how to use blockchain, Web3, a bevy of different opportunities with tokenizing otherwise illiquid assets, right? Commodities. Oh my word, there's going to be so many different things happening there. But it says this: while Silicon Valley likes to think of itself as the home of innovation, the most enthusiastic embrace of digital assets and new forms of on-demand money movement come from much further south. As local economies recover from the redacted, we predict that Latin America's interest in consuming digital products and services will continue to rise. With growing demand for verticals such as the creator economy, SaaS, gaming, mainly esports and travel, with some countries such as Mexico remaining severely underbanked. New payment methods have space to flourish beyond the hegemony of credit cards. What does that mean? The future's looking bright. It says, despite cash remaining relevant, we will continue to see a rise in alternative payment methods, including digital wallets from consumers participating in the digital economy. I believe the bank coins will dominate in Latin America. Algorand is deep in Latin America via Koi banks. Stellar's deep in Latin America. Ripple is deep in Latin America. You're right. Stellar had that thing going on with Brazil, the CBDC down there. You know, we have to get an update on that. They were testing that. Did they test their CBDC on Stellar? I believe that's how believe that's what they did. You can clarify that to me if you know a little bit better. But let's scroll down here. There's another section here on this post that is very powerful. All right. And this is why it's great that Stellar has connections to companies like Neum. This is from Ramana Satya Varapu. It's titled B2B payments will be a major competition area. Cross-border payments have been booming, especially in the world of B2B, but we're yet to see them used to their full potential. Global payouts have so many use cases, so many exceptions, and so many local laws around the world that catch out businesses every day. I don't know what they mean by that. These lead to high fees, slow services, and missed opportunities. Okay, I see what they're talking about. With the growth of B2B marketplaces, hiring platforms, and gig networks, there's now a real urgency in solving these challenges. You're going to have to move payroll in a different way with workers all around the world. And they can move anywhere around the world. Digital nomad type stuff, right? There's people fully working from home, and a lot of people are working from home and they've left the country, right? I've read articles about that. So now, in order for them to receive something across borders, across the world, maybe, you're going to need better methods. You're going to need to save money. It's going to need to be instant, quick, traceable, all of that. We bring all that to the table. But let's continue on here. It says, what was good enough in 2019 could be a major risk factor in 2023. It says the transaction value of all B2B payments taking place across borders is expected to exceed $42.7 trillion in 2026. 2026. It says our mission at Neum in 2023 is to continue building tools that solve the cross-border payments challenges for B2B companies to help teams focus on their core value proposition and expand globally to realize their true potential. Now, what's interesting about Neum is definitely working with an MBDC, MCBDC type of platform where they're combining everything all together. They have a little bit of legacy offerings. They have obviously one of the absolute best in blockchain DLTs, Stellar, and then they have like a little bit of that Zelle action going on. They're combining everything together. So just to clarify on Neum, it says once connected to the Neum platform, businesses are able to pay out in more than 100 currencies to over 190 countries, 100 of which in real time. It says Neum provides banks, payment providers, and businesses of any size with access to global payment and card issuance solutions. All right, so now let's move on to another article here. So this article here is from AsiaFinancial.com and is titled, EU must prepare for China decoupling if Taiwan invaded. It says the European Union needs to put together a decoupling plan in case China invades Taiwan or risk being caught unprepared like it was when Russia invaded Ukraine. Lithuania's foreign minister, Gabrielis Landsbergis, said he was not advocating a decoupling from China, but pointed to the break with Moscow over Russia's attack on Ukraine in February 2022 as the type of risk for which the bloc needed to be ready. Nobody had called for a decoupling from Russia, yet, quote, here we are. All right. Well, there's a significant difference, although, that did cause a lot of, it was very problematic, I'll say that, right, for Europe. I'm trying to choose my words very carefully. China will be even more problematic because most products are made in China. Says, quote, somebody has to devise a possibility that a decoupling might happen, not because we wished it, like with Russia, not because we willed it, but because the situation, for example, in the Taiwan Strait has been changed by force, unquote, he told reporters as he arrived for a meeting with EU counterparts in Stockholm. And by having this public and not be a private meeting, you think that China's not going to take umbrage to this. Says Europe would have to react to such a development, quote, and the reaction would lead to some sort of a decoupling, unquote. Landesberg has said it. The EU has been struggling to recalibrate its relations with a China, which is seen as much more assertive than in the past, drawing lessons from what is regarded as a failed Russia policy that strongly relied on energy imports from Moscow. That's part of what I was talking about. Energy imports that damaged them greatly. So leaders such as European Commission Chief Ursula von der Leyen and German Chancellor Olaf Scholz have been calling for a de-risking, unquote, but not a decoupling from China. So we're going to end off with this article here. It's on kitco.com and it's titled, Sentiment Indicates Gold Prices Are Just Waiting for the Green Light to Take Off. So let's read this little tidbit here. It says, once again, the gold's price action is stuck in neutral. I don't mind that. So waiting for a catalyst to ignite a big move, which according to many Wall Street analysts and retail investors is expected to be higher. The latest Kitco News weekly gold survey shows that retail investors remain bullish on gold. Well, I'm not bullish on gold. I'm super bullish, super duper. Remember that when we was little? Super duper bullish on gold. How about that? I am. So looking for prices to retest resistance just below $2,000 and $2,050 an ounce. At the same time, Wall Street analysts are evenly split, with many saying traders must distinguish between short-term volatility and the broader trend. Ole Hansen, head of commodity strategy at Saxo Bank, said he is, quote, patiently bullish on gold in the near term as the market continues to see solid fundamental support. Of course, I think everybody knows what's coming with the economy, so they're going to stay in. More people are going to come as the economies get more harsh around the globe. It's just logical. They want to protect their wealth, and gold is the best way to do it. It says, however, he added that he is also respectful of the flows in the market. Hansen said that speculative positioning driven volatility can push gold prices lower next week as investors react to short covering in the US dollar. He added that gold prices remain in a solid uptrend as long as gold holds support above the $1,950 an ounce level. It says, quote, I don't think a correction to $2,000 or below is a cause for concern. I agree with that 100%. I'm not concerned at all with that, at all. It says, quote, I recognize that any sell-off will likely be position driven rather than a fundamental change in the outlook, unquote. Sean Lusk, co-director of commercial hedging at Walsh Trading, said that he is bearish on gold in the near term, adding that a correction would be healthy and not surprising given the gains made in the last 6 months. Of course, like I've said this multiple times. I think some people will liquidate their gold and play with it a little bit, maybe even use it. Some people may need it for survival, the capital that they get from liquidating their gold. So it may go down a little bit, but am I worried about that concern? Absolutely not, because those same people will be back and more will come. The economies globally are not looking good. People will retreat to gold. Banks will continue to buy gold at record rates for quite some time because they know what's coming, right? There's a shakeup coming in the world, and people and entities are trying to prepare for it. Says Lusk said that he is also watching the $1,950 level, but thinks it is likely dips will be bought before that level is hit. Lusk said he remains long-term bullish on gold as broad-based economic uncertainty is providing solid support for the precious metal. If traders want to know where gold is going, Lusk said they only have to look at backward month future prices. He pointed out that the gold market is currently in contango, with December futures trading around $2,071 an ounce. June gold futures are trading around $2,016 an ounce. This is a wise individual here. Quote, the market is telling us that investors are willing to pay a higher price for gold later in the year. And that's very smart, actually. Listen, the future is extremely bright with gold. My humble opinion, this is not financial advice. Nothing in this video is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a humble researcher. And I share a few of my thoughts. That's all. That's all. You have to make up your own mind, your own decisions. But I believe later on, yes, it will go higher. It says, this week, 19 Wall Street analysts participated in the Kitco News Gold Survey. So these are all pros. In a tied vote, both bearish and bullish positions garnered 8 votes each, or 42%. At the same time, 3 analysts, or 16%, were neutral on gold for next week. All right, so we're going to stop there. Once again, this is on Kitco, KITCO.com. They do a great job over there. Make sure to check them out. Show them some support. So now that you have that information, what are you going to do with it? I know what I'm going to do with it. So until next time, let's get to the Monday.